Desert Boy here. Well, since I've been kind of exploring lever actions, and I thought I would go back to my first rifle I bought when I went to get back into things, or actually my first rifle ever. Um, I usually had a handgun, but I hadn't had a rifle, and when I went to buy one, um, I was thinking, I probably ought to go and get a 22 or something like that. Now, in my youth, I take it back. I did have a rifle before. I had a rifle and a shotgun. I had a old Stevens 410 single shot, but then my rifle was a 22 Marlin, which recently I think you saw I have a Model 25 Marlin, and it was similar to that, and I think it had a Weaver scope on it or something like that. Might have been a Bushnell, and it had the 7-round mag. It had the little 24 karat gold triggers that were kind of popular for a short time on the little 22 bolt actions. But that gun years ago, that gun went to somebody else, and yeah, that was way back in my youth, a long time ago, and so I hadn't had one since then. So this is, I guess, my second rifle. As I was saying, my Henry 4570, I think another video, was my second rifle. It's actually my third rifle. So this was my first lever action, and the Henry 4570 was my second lever action. This is the Henry H004 Golden Boy. Now we'll check it unloaded. There's no rounds in here. And has a brasslite finish, so the brass finish is what they call this. Really nice wood, nice butt plate, right? Nice band on there, octagon barrel. Now this is a fairly heavy 22, it's a tubular fed. It's 6.75 pounds, it's about 38.5 inches overall, so it's actually longer than my 4570 and almost as heavy. It's got the same length of pull, about 14 inches. It has a straight stock as opposed to having a grip on it. And has a buckhorn, semi-buckhorn sights with a bead, just like the 4570. It is not drilled and tapped like that one was, and some of my other ones. So you would have to get that done if you wanted to do that. A lot of people like to take these lever actions and put like Skinner sights or some other aperture kind of sights on there. And I often wanted to do that. I think I'd buy another 22 specifically for that if I was going to do that. And probably one that's a little lighter, because this is nice. It's got this 20-inch barrel, but it's a little heavy. It's a little on the heavy side. It's very good for target shooting in that way. I do have some video footage of when I went to the range here recently with it, which I will eventually post probably after this video. But it was during the, I can't remember now, it must have been like 2012 or somewhere around there, when I was first getting back into firearms, and we had a tremendous ammunition shortage going on at the time, and not many firearms options at the time either. And so being as that was the case, I thought, well, having a 22 would be kind of nice. They usually will hold, more than 10 rounds. In this case, this is rated at 16 rounds of 22 long rifle. It also can shoot longs, which I've never seen those in the store, I don't think. And 22 shorts, which I think the capacity is rated at around 21 or something like that. And I have seen those, and I'll show you those here in a second. Some people, I think, use those more for pest control or something like that. Now, I've never chambered them in this gun. I've only shot 22 long rifles. And in general, it will handle about anything. Once in a while, there's a 22. I don't know what it is. Sometimes Winchester white box. But there was my Ruger 1022, the one with the red, white, and blue on it, Or this one, it just doesn't like those rounds. I don't know what the deal is with them. But the rest of them pretty well handles it. So it's nice. You can put 16 rounds of 22 long rifle in here. And, 22 long rifle, well, you got Stingers, right? Which is a more powerful ammo. 640 feet per second, 32 grains, copper-plated hollow point. You know, pretty effective as a varmint rifle, but you know, if you're cranking them off, you know, one after the other, even as a deterrent for your protection, I don't think anybody's going to want to have to deal with that. Do they make speed loaders for tubular fed guns? They do. There is a company called Spee-D-Loader. They have these tubes, and you can put your rounds in there. You have to make sure they're loaded in there in the appropriate direction to go into your firearm, and you can reload much faster than putting them in through the little opening here. And of course, the gun has to be in a position where they won't fall out while you do that. But there are ways to load a little faster than you might think. So anyway, coming back to 22s, you know, most of the time you got kind of the standard 22 mini mags, you know, is probably very popular. This one here is more like 1260 feet per second, 36 grains, copper-plated hollow point. Or you might go with something that's just a round nose of some kind. This one here happens to be a 36 grain copper-plated hollow point by Browning. This over here happens to be a 29 grain, 710 feet per second, 22 short lead. Now, it's kind of hard for me to show you these unless I do it this way. See how very small that round is. They also make them for varmint, which is 1105 feet per second, 27 grain. But that's just to show you, you know, like I said, I've never really used shorts. There might be, I think there might even be some Derringers that they will just shoot shorts, but I'd have to do more research on that. But anyway, coming back to the 22, this gun shoots superbly. It's very accurate. It's very smooth action. Doesn't get any better than that for a lever action, you know, unless you're trying to work on the amount of pull and you want it to, you know, you're somebody who's doing cowboy action shooting, in which case you're using probably a different caliber. But otherwise, you know, as far as your action travel, you know, these are very smooth and nice. So I really treasure this. It's very handy, very economical way to go to the range and maintain some of your skills proficiency when you're out there, particularly working on not just how you use the firearms and the manual of arms, but your safety rules and things like that. So nice wood, very well made. Never had any issues with this one. And they're not, I won't say they're inexpensive, but once you have one, you're probably not going to let it go. It's probably going to be something you would like to give to someone else when you go onward wherever we're going after that. I have my own beliefs, you know, but I believe in Christianity, but that's me. But, you know, so anyway, I just wanted to talk to you about that. So you can have this nice 22 here and go out to the range and practice. And then, you know, you get used to using the lever action. And then you might want to take one out in a larger caliber, which check this one out, like this 45-70. And you'll learn about using lever actions without, you know, firing it where it's costing you, you know, $1.50 to $2.50 a round with like a 45-70 or something. So anyway, so, you know, during that crisis, all there was available, in fact, was 22 shorts when I bought the gun. And that's what I bought. That's the only 22. Like I said, I'd rather have some ammunition for it than nothing. But anyway, that's my story. And like I said, it's a pleasure to shoot. It's a little heavy for, like my daughter is she's a smaller person. It's a little heavy. I would probably get her one like, they used to have the Evil Roy, which has a little shorter barrel. It's more like a carbine. She'd probably enjoy that more, but they have such a variety of them. So, Sri Desert Boy always says, be safe out there, whatever you're doing. If you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. Bye now.